Okay, so in this video, we're going to be reviewing back over molarity because it's been about a week since we've worked in these problems, and I want to make sure everybody understands these because there will be several of these on our fourth 9 weeks test. Now, molarity is for solutions, and it is a measure of the concentration of a solution. The higher the molarity, the more concentrated it is. That means the more solute it has compared to the solvent. And remember, the solute is like what is dissolved in a liquid, and the solvent is what's doing the dissolving. So if you add salt water, salt would be your solute, and water would be your solvent. And molarity, with the equation we have for that is molarity equals moles of solute divided by liters of solution. So we need our units in moles, and we need our units for our volume in liters. And the equation is going to be capital M, that's for molarity, equals moles divided by liters. And that, if you see something like if you had a 2M solution, that would be the concentration, that would be a 2 molar solution. It would be like 2 moles. And if it was like a NaCl saltwater solution, it would be 2 moles of NaCl per 1 liter of solution. So, you can make this solution by weighing out 2 moles of NaCl. Of course, you'd have to convert that to grams by multiplying by the molar mass, weigh the salt out in grams on a balance, add it to a container, and then fill it up to the 1 liter mark with water, and you would have a 2 molar solution of salt water. Okay, so if you're given milliliters in the problem, you want to convert to liters by dividing by 1,000. So if I was given 200 milliliters in the problem, I do not need milliliters, I need liters. So I would divide by 1,000, or simply move your decimal 3 places to the left. In 200, the decimal would be at the end. So if I moved it 1, 2, 3 places, 200 milliliters is the same thing as 0.2 liters. So always make sure you pay real close attention. If you're given milliliters, you want to convert that to liters. Another thing, if you're given grams in the problem, and remember we need moles to be able to work out something. So if you're given grams initially, you want to convert that to moles by dividing by the molar mass. So you take the grams given in the problem, divide that by the molar mass, and you'll have to add up the molar mass, which will be given the chemical formula to be able to do that. And we should be able to do that by now. If you're asked for your answer in grams, you would have to use your formula for molarity to find the moles first, and then convert that to grams by multiplying by the molar mass of the substance. So we're going to look at a few example problems. Alright, so if I want to find the molarity of a 500 milliliter solution with 2.0 moles of NaCl. Alright, so I'm given my volume there, 500 milliliters. I'm given my number of moles, 2.0. I'm asked to find my molarity. Right, my equation is going to be capital M. It's molarity equals moles divided by liters. Now I'm just going to plug my numbers into this. So I'm solving for molarity. I'm just going to leave that as an M. And my moles was 2.0 divided by, now remember 500 milliliters. I want to convert to liters. I would divide by 1,000 or move my decimal 3 places to the left. So 500, the decimal will be at the end. I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3 places. It becomes 0.5. Alright, and then when I do that math, when I take 2.0 divided by 0.5, that should be 4.0. And my units for molarity is a capital M. I want to include those units. That means it's 4.0 moles per liter of solution. That's the concentration. It would have 4 moles of salt in 1 liter of solution. And now, of course, if I want grams, I would have to take 4.0 multiplied by the molar mass of NaCl to figure out the grams if I was actually going to make this solution in the lab and weigh it out in grams. Alright, so another problem. How many moles is in a 4 molar solution if the volume is 2 liters? Alright, so it's asking me for moles. It's giving me that I have a 4 molar solution, and it's saying that my volume is 2 liters. So again, I start with my equation. Molarity equals moles divided by liters. And I'm going to plug in for my molarity. It's telling me it's 4, and that's equal to my moles is my unknown. So I can put in an X for that. And my liters is in liters already, so that'll be 2. So I want to solve for X, solve for my unknown. To get X by itself, I'll need to multiply both sides by 2. They cancel on that side. X ends up being 4 times 2, so X would be 8. And then my units, I'm looking for moles. So basically we're just doing algebra. We're solving for the unknown. We have a very simple equation here that we're using. Now next, how many liters are in a 0.5 molar solution that has 1.5 moles of CaCO3? Again, I'm asking for how many liters, that's my unknown, in I got a 0.5 molar solution that has 1.5 moles, and it's telling me of CaCO3. So again, my equation, molarity equals moles over liters. When I plug in my numbers, it's telling me my molarity is 0.5. My moles is 1.5. Liters is what I'm solving for, so that's going to be my X. Now I need to get X by itself, and the easiest way to do that, if my X is on bottom, I can just do some algebra. I can multiply both sides by X, and then I have to divide both sides by 0.5. But sometimes it's easier in this case just to put this over 1, and then you can cross multiply and solve for X. So this becomes 0.5x equals 1 times 1.5 is 1.5. Then I divide both sides by 0.5 to solve for X. So X is going to be equal to 1.5 divided by 0.5. So X would be equal to 3.0, and my units would be liters. Now my next problem, sometimes they're going to be a little bit harder than those simple ones like that. It's asking me what is the molarity of a solution that is made by adding 57.3 grams of MgO to 500 milliliters of solution. Now, so it's asking me for the molarity, it's my unknown, and it's telling me I have 57.3 grams of MgO and 500 milliliters of solution. So again, I'm going to be using this equation. Molarity equals moles divided by liters. If I notice I'm not given my moles, I'm given grams. So I'm going to need to convert that to moles. So 57.3 grams of MgO, and I've already, you need to figure out the molar mass of MgO. You add up, there's one magnesium atom times the atomic mass of a magnesium, one atom of oxygen times the atomic mass of oxygen, then you add those up. We've been doing this for a long time, finding the molar mass. But when you find it, it's 40.30. Remember, we round those 2 decimal places. So I'm going to take what I'm given in the problem, which is 57.3, divided by the molar mass, which is 40.30. So I'm going to take 57.3 divided by 40.30. I get 1.4218. I round that to 1 decimal place. So that ends up being 1.42. And that's moles. So I go back to my equation. Molarity equals moles divided by liters. So molarity is equal to 1.42. And then my liters, I'm given in the problem 500 milliliters. I don't need milliliters, I need liters. Remember, divide by 1,000, or simply move your decimal 3 places to the left. 500, the decimal will be at the end. If I move it 3 places, that's 1, 2, 3. It ends up being 0.5. So that'd be 0.5 liters. And then I just take 1.42 divided by 0.5. And I get 2.84. And then my unit, since it's molarity, will be a capital M. So that would be a 2.84 molar solution, 2.84 moles per 1 liter of solution for this. Now there's one more type of scenario that you will run into, and that's if it asks you in a problem like what mass of Ba3PO42, and if it's asking for mass, always know that it's asking for grams. It's contained in 1,575 milliliters of a 0.35 molar solution of Ba3PO42. All right, so I'm asking, it wants my answer in grams, but when I look at my equation, it says molarity is equal to moles divided by liters. So how can I get my answer into grams? First, I would need to solve for moles, and once I find my moles, I can convert to grams. So when I plug in my equation, my molarity, it tells me is 0.35. I need to find moles first, so I need to put an X in there for moles. That's what I'm looking for. And then by liters, well, if I have 1575 milliliters and I want to convert that to liters, I divide by 1,000, remove my decimal 3 places to the left. My decimal would be at the end. If I move it 3 places, that would be 1, 2, 3. That becomes 1.575. So I'm going to solve for X. When I do that, I multiply both sides by 1.575, cancels on the right and on the left. So X is going to be equal to 0.35 times 1.575. So I take 0.35 times 1.575. I get 0.55125, and I'm going to round that to 2 decimal places. So my X in this problem is equal to 0.55, and that's going to be moles of Ba3PO42. Now I want my answer in grams, and remember to go from moles to grams, I simply multiply by the molar mass of the substance. So I'll take 0.55, I'm going to multiply by, and I'm going to add up the molar mass of Ba3PO42. When you add that up, remember you have 3 bariums, you have 1 phosphorus on the inside, multiplied by 2, so that would be 2 phosphorus. And then oxygen, you got 4 on the inside, you got 2 on the outside, that would be 8 oxygens. So you'd have 3 Bas, 2 Ps, and 8 oxygens. Multiply that by their individual atomic masses and add them all up. And when you do that, you'll get a molar mass of 601.93. So to convert moles to grams, I'm going to take my moles, which is 0.55, multiply it by 601.93. And that gives me an answer of 331 on the rounded 2 decimal places. So it'll be 331.06. And my answer will be grams of Ba3PO42. And that's all there is to molarity problems. You got your equation, molarity equals moles divided by liters. You can solve for any of those 3 things. If you're given grams in the beginning of the problem, you need to convert that to moles by dividing by the molar mass, and then working the problem for whatever unknown you're looking for. If you're asked to solve for the mass in grams of a substance in these types of problems, you're going to find your moles first, and you're going to then, at the end, multiply by your molar mass to get your answer in grams. And don't forget to make sure if you're given milliliters, convert that to liters by dividing by 1,000 or moving your decimal 3 places to the left.